We can't ignore the fact that a lot of people in these day and time are really confused. They have lost the ability to think logically and constantly make a fool of themselves. But there are certain times men don't hold back from woke people.
Do you think my outfit is offensive?
Are you Mexican?
No.
Yes.
I think it reaffirms stereotypes that are offensive to people.
It's not yours.
Do you find my outfit offensive?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's not your culture.
You don't really understand what their culture means and what it means to wear these things, like the hats and the maracas. You sort of have to understand where all of this comes from for it to not be cultural appropriation.
Does my outfit offend you?
You look, no. You look nice.
Do you like my costume?
Yes.
Does it offend you?
No.
Do you like my outfit?
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Does my outfit offend you?
No, not at all.
No, nothing.
Let's see it. At this point, I think a lot of people who are woke just want a reason to be offended.
Do you think there could be a gay James Bond?
Hopefully the whole world rolled their eyes the way he did to that ridiculous question.
I don't want you to hate me for being white, but I don't want you to like me for being white. Why are these the only two options? Jesus. Okay, well, if I have to pick a side, I'm gonna go with you guys because at least your heart is in the right place. I'm just kidding. It's because you control all of film and television. That's why I'm over here. But when you find my old tweets, I'll be calling you. Yes, I will. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you can still comfortably tour the Midwest.
It's a great joke because it's true.
Looks like he's having a nice piece.
She, her. Yeah, it's okay. It's all good. Hi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm not sir. Yeah, like it's like a knife in the heart. I did specifically ask ahead of time not to be called sir. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Okay, the Sweetwater starts at, okay,
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
It's just always like a knife. It always hurts every single time.
I was wondering if there's a manager I could talk to about something that happened. Yeah, I was called sir. Oh, okay. It just really sucks every time it happens. I don't need to be called ma'am. I just need to not be called sir, you know? Did you call me sir? I just want to tell you that the person who gave me this called me sir. It's just like, it kind of hurts a lot to get called sir.
Oh, sorry about that.
Very good.
Thank you so much. No, yeah. Thank you. I'm not a sir. Nothing like a good misgendering. It is a knife in the gut when I get called sir. I feel like I need to tell him. I need to tell him that hurt. It hurts more though when it's not intentional because it means like this is sir to me. I know you didn't mean it, but I'm not a sir. I'm so sorry. It's okay. I know you didn't mean it. It's just, it hurts. I know when people clock me, it's fine, but like it doesn't hurt. Thank you. I'm not sir. Not sir. Not sir. But the guy who dropped the food off, he called me sir twice in a row. Thank you, I appreciate that.
I think they need to have a good reality check that no matter how pretty they dress, the world still sees them as men.
Boys are boys from the beginning. If you were born a boy, you stay a boy. Girls are girls right from the start. If you were born a girl, you stay a girl and grow up to be a lady. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies, yes.
It's very simple. We need more people who can talk more simple truths.
You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
So I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
Because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist
I'm
is
denying that trans
dangerous.
people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get
So you are
pregnant.
denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you? Or are
Absolutely.
they also treated like this?
We have a good
by
time in my
questioning?
class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
Imagine a lecturer who views logical questions as transphobic. What even can her students learn? I'm such an environment.
Victim groups like these people. I know you're so oppressed, my dears. I know life is so hard for you. You have to live in the richest, most equitable, most just country in the history of the world. You have to get a college education. You have to voluntarily go to lectures. It's so awful. I can't imagine that, the people who are in war-torn nations, they must truly pity you. Goodbye then.
I hope they are actually leaving to go get a bath.
Okay, is it okay if I touch you? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, if I touch you.
Go right ahead.
Before we get started, do you mind if I touch you?
I'm also gonna cut my fucking hair.
Do you mind if I touch you?
Are you serious, bro? Just cut my hair.
Is it cool if I touch you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool.
It's usually just customary that I ask the person before I touch them.
Just cut it, cuz.
And what were your pronouns?
She, they.
She, they too.
Yay!
Look at us, we're twins.
He, him.
She, her.
And what are your pronouns?
Are you serious, bro? Just cut my hair.
What are your pronouns? They, them. She, they. I'm glad we exchanged those. Yes.
At this point, woke just means overly needy attention seeker, because if any hairdresser asked me such questions, I'd leave.
So you actually started by saying that blocking puberty, which is chemical castration of a child,
Just one example, yeah.
yeah, is life-saving.
It can be,
How do you know?
because there are children who have been suicidal that have had these interventions made.
What children? How do you know? And how many children have had that done
Me personally,
and then
I are
haven't
still
met
suicidal.
children?
Me personally, I haven't met enough trans children to answer that question.
Okay.
But I know
You
that
are
the
making-
research exists.
You're making this statement, you're stating it as a fact in front of all these people. There must be a reason, there must be something that you encountered that led you to this rather radical conclusion that to save a child's life, you have to chemically castrate him.
Not every child, no, sir.
Okay, well that is what you just said. The drugs we give to kids for puberty blockers, so-called puberty blockers, originally are cancer drugs used to treat prostate cancer. They're also used to chemically castrate sex offenders and child rapists. Now we give them to physically healthy kids. You're saying that we need to do that or they will die. And so one last time I'm going to ask you, what evidence do you have of that remarkable claim?
I don't think I claimed that every child would benefit from that.
Well, no, I didn't say you did.
And okay,
You
well,
said
you,
that
no,
puberty
you
blockers
did,
are.
you did.
You said puberty blockers are life-saving. What
I
evidence do
said
you have for that?
they can be. The
how do you
evidence
know?
is the encounters with patients who have had these procedures done, and it has saved their, I don't want to say it saved their lives, but it has made their lives better. I can't confirm whether or not they're alive right this second, but there are children that it has helped. So what do you have to say for the happy trans community who has benefited from these procedures? That's my question
I guess what I have
for you.
to say is that your entire question is built on a whole stack of false premises that you can't begin to even remotely defend. So it's a faulty question from the start. I reject your premise. I absolutely reject that there are any kids who need to be chemically castrated in order to be happy.
Okay, let's...
She heard it on Facebook or somewhere, and now it's fact. This is where many people get their facts and beliefs from. Crazy.
I got it, man.
It's sir!
Sorry, man.
Sir, you have the girliest scream ever.
Well, man. So in the earliest chapters of Genesis, you have the creation of man in Adam. And then Eve is created from Adam's rib, but she would be the other sex. What you're citing is this line that a lot of people who are pro-transgender will say, which is, actually in some Native American tribe that I can't quite name right now, I'm sure they believe in a third and a fourth and a fifth gender, but that just isn't true. That is that's been made up by white liberals.
You know the movie Mulan, Disney Mulan?
I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it.
Mulan, he dresses as a man, right, goes to war. That's based off of true history.
Oh yes, cross-dressing has occurred in
just
history.
cross-dressing, but people who
in
went
Mulan, did the female character think she was a man?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't get why she thought Mulan would be a good argument.
So I can't have an opinion on abortion because I don't have a uterus, but I can be a woman without one? Got it.
Of course, this statement would trigger those wakies who think they can identify as having a uterus.
That you promote ends up with people dying because of it.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Because
let's talk about that.
Let's discuss that. Because you promote this hate towards people like me and other trans people, and trans people get murdered because of the hate against them. So it's not just like a free speech thing. It's
Do you know what the murder rate of transgender people is?
Oh my God,
Let's talk about that data, because that's a claim that you'd make, and I'd like to explore that with you.
Okay, well, you know what? Off. Just off. This is harassment.
Okay, you made a claim. You made a claim, and we'd like to.
Otherwise, I'm just saying this should be considered.
Okay, so you have no evidence.
She literally walked towards them, made a false claim, get asked a question, and then say, this is harassment.
You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to shit, okay?
Woke means a man can put on a dress and go into the woman's bathroom.
Be comfortable with. I have extreme compassion and empathy for people who struggle with gender dysphoria and that they do not like the bodies that they're in. I have extreme empathy and compassion for that, but that just because someone feels that way does not mean it's true. If an anorexic person is telling you that they hate their body, if they look in the mirror every day and they're like, I'm fat, a doctor does not just prescribe them diet pills. It's the same way. We should be teaching people that the body we're born in is the right body. God does not make mistakes. You have a beautiful body and you should embrace that, and you should love yourself for who you are. And regardless, you can't biologically and physically transition into a different gender. And so, like I said, I have extreme compassion.
You think Jesus really cares about whether or not you're transitioning? Is there one time in the Bible where Jesus
Many times. He made them man and woman.
Whoever struggles with body dysphoria, know this. You are born in the right body. You have to work on acceptance. You need a proper therapy.
You must have a standard. You must be a biological boy to be a Boy Scout. You have to be a boy to be a Boy Scout. In the name Boy Scouts.
Boys have Boy Scouts. Girls have Girl Scouts. Really simple people.
Ziad, I use he, him pronouns, and I am Bangladeshi American.
And yeah, I just rolled my eyes. I'm glad the cameras caught it, because I was like, it's just a natural reaction. And there's a lot of people who said that was rude, done that, or you acted triggered. It's like, no, I didn't yell at him or whatever. But the truth is, the pronoun stuff is ridiculous, and I think ridiculous things need to be ridiculed, right?
We have two choices. Continue to let people with mental sickness run the place, or say enough in enough and take the world back.
I mean, you use Twitter.
Right.
Do you see a rise in hate speech?
I mean,
but just a personal anecdote, like what do you? I don't.
Personally, my For You, I would see I get more of that kind of content, yeah, personally. But I'm not going to talk to the rest of, for the rest of Twitter.
So you see more hate speech personally?
I would say I would see more hateful content in that.
Content you don't like or hateful? What do you mean to describe a hateful thing?
Yeah, I mean, just content that will solicit a reaction, something that may include something that is slightly racist or slightly sexist, those kinds of things.
So you think if something is slightly sexist, it should be banned?
No,
is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying.
Well, I'm just curious. I'm trying to understand what you mean by hateful content, and I'm asking for specific examples. And you just said that if something is slightly sexist, that's hateful content. Does that mean that it should be banned?
Well, you've asked me whether my feed, whether it's got less or more. I'd say it's got slightly more.
That's why I'm asking for examples. Can you name one example?
I honestly don't use. Honestly, I
you
don't.
can't name a single example.
I'll tell you why. Because I don't actually use that For You feed anymore. Because I just don't particularly like it.
But you
said a lot of people are quite similar. I only look at
hang on a second.
my
You said you've seen more hateful content, but you can't name a single example, not even one.
I'm not sure I've used that feed for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and I.
Well, then how did you see the hateful content?
Because I've been using Twitter since you've taken it over for the last 6 months.
Okay, so then you must have at some point seen the for you hateful content. I'm asking for one example.
Right.
And you can't give a single one.
And I'm saying.
Then I say, sir, that you don't know what you're talking about.
Really?
Yes, because you can't give me a single example of hateful content, not even one tweet, and yet you claimed that the hateful content was high.
Well,
that's a false.
No, what I claimed.
You just lied.
No.